नमो नमस्ते गुरवे महात्मने विमुक्तसंगाय सदुत्तमाय नित्याद्वयानन्दरसस्वरूपिणे भूम्ने सदा पारदयाम्बुधाम्ने नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य. Hari Om Tat Sat. We have defined yesterday that excellence is a quality of the mind, and it means that whatever be the situation, we should be able to put our maximum. That means we should be able to do things excellently. But we are not able to. So there we yesterday ended with this problem, that we are not being able to be excellent in every situation. And what is causing that? What can be the reason for that? We pointed out in brief yesterday that we are performing our best when our mind is cheerful and free. It is not haunted by any desire, ambition, fear or anxiety. You think about yourself in the exam, most of you, the children who are there, or the elderly people, those who are still working, everywhere, this anxiety of the future, that what will happen, if I am not successful, then what will happen? This actually doesn't allow us to perform our best. So it is the fear, anxiety, and also desire and ambition which takes away our excellence. But if we remain cheerful not in the perhaps usual sense that we have always to laugh and merrymaking and all, it's not like that. The mind should be cheerful, that it is not repenting about anything, it is not ambitious about anything, it is not constantly blaming anything, any objective situation or anybody. The blaming tendencies, the too much self-centered. Now all the children generally they suffer from self-centeredness because the families are small and they are not open to mixing with many people, sacrificing for them, thinking about them. So in many cases we suggest that you join some NGO to do some work and see how other children are suffering in the world, so that your mind becomes a little broader, it becomes a little expansive. So if we can, the best quotation to remember, I have forgotten the language, actually it was given by, in my childhood I got it, mother of Pondicherry Ashram, Sri Aurobindo Ashram in Pondicherry. She mentioned that, or maybe Aurobindo himself, I don't remember now. It is somewhat like this, that if we could make our life perfect, if we could take life less seriously. Apparently it appears to be a contradiction, that we always talk about seriousness. But why is it like that? That if we take our lives less seriously, we will be able to make it more perfect. Language is not exactly this, I don't remember now. It means that we are taking our life, that means what will happen to me, what am I, how people are thinking about me, all those points are bothering our mind too much that we are not able to blossom like a flower. A flower blossoms naturally. It just simply blossoms. Whatever qualities it has. A red big flower will become a big, maybe fragrant flower also. A grass flower will blossom with less color and a small flower growing also at the bottom. But if we think, is there any difference in the beauty? I feel that the grass flower is equally beautiful like the big rose or the big dahlia, whatever we see. There is no difference in the beauty. It is our vision, we neglect the small things or the not very colorful things, and we are getting attracted by that. For nature, they are all equally beautiful. So like that, each person, whether it is children, young children or elderly people, each person is having a certain constitution, certain capabilities. And nature's role is to allow us to flower forth with our own capabilities fully. But we are not able to because of some of the jamming factors, that our ambition, our desire, our fear, our anxiety, they are not actually allowing us to flower forth. Just like an insect biting the insect remaining under the petals, you will find those petals are crooked. They are not able to open up properly. Like that, our insects are, we want to become like somebody else. Suppose I am a very good artist, I can draw beautifully or I can sing beautifully. But seeing the IT person, I feel that he is getting so much money, nobody is giving me any recognition, so I will become an IT person. Well, you become an IT person, but your petals of art will not grow through that. Or you become an IT person, there also you can allow those petals to grow. But it seldom happens because our mind is never given to that natural way of blossoming. So we will be excellent when we are cheerful, means we are not haunted by these factors which are not allowing us to open up properly. And freedom also comes from there. So something is stealing our excellence. That was the topic. Can you show the 6th slide? So before that we had dealt with the problem yesterday. Now it comes, what makes us non-excellent? What steals our natural delight and excellence? Is it not our desire to gain happiness and avoid unpleasant situations? Desire to gain happiness and avoid unpleasant situations. Bhagavad Gita examines this problem and prescribes solutions from various angles. Now we will come to Bhagavad Gita later on, but let us deal with it, let us understand this problem well. The picture given is Arjuna and Krishna. We discussed yesterday also. The Arjuna was the most excellent archer of his time, parallel to maybe Ekalavya and Karna. But Drona wanted to be the most excellent warrior. And that was what Arjuna, that's what Arjuna did also. He was. But with all his excellence in war, he was not able to fight the war. When he came, he was crying, he was completely shattered, he was sweating, he was crying, he was trembling even, Bhagavad Gita says. And what is it for? Because of his mind, that with all that excellence, he could not deliver the excellence in the place. What was it? The fear of sin. What was the sin? Arjuna himself says in 1st chapter, yesterday we discussed. What was the sin? That I have to, if I am fighting in this war, my own most beloved grandfather on whose lap I have grown, and the most respected teacher Drona from whom I have learned the archery, I have to fight against them, I have to kill them. That was the main sinful thought in his mind, that I am going to commit a great sin. And I am doing it for what? For my greed to win over a kingdom and become a king and enjoying the comfort of kingship. Everywhere there was delusion in this statement. But it comes as Arjuna's statement in the 1st chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And the whole Bhagavad Gita is in answer to this. Krishna said that if you are fighting the war with because of your greed for winning over the kingdom and having a very comfortable life as a king and enjoying that happiness, I would never have asked you to fight at all. I am asking you to fight the war for the society, that the society is being ruled by corrupt kings, and somehow we have to change the rule and establish a proper corruption-free ruling the kingdom. So if you fight, it may not be that you are living after the war also, you may die in the war. So your aim may not be successful, that you will become the king and you will do everything. It may not happen, it doesn't matter. But being given your role as a warrior, it is your duty to look for the corruption-free rule in our country. To save the society, you have to fight the war. Which initially he was not able to accept. So it went on, the discussion went on, and finally he was able to do it. How was he finally? We find that in second chapter itself, from Arjuna's questions and all, we find that the grief he was suffering from, the depression he was given to in the first chapter, as it says, it was already gone. And gone by what? Gone by whatever Krishna spoke to him in the second chapter. That what is our real identity, and where we are becoming constricted, where we are becoming very, very narrow and selfish in our outlook. This is important for everybody. Wherever we are feeling weakness, wherever we are feeling that we are not happy, we are not cheerful, it means some selfishness, some constriction of the mind is working. And we have to find it out and deal with it. Now in Bhagavad Gita, they deal with it in a very scientific, step-by-step manner. So we would like to go into that analysis in a way. The first thing is that if I say that many of you are, it is for them to ask actually, that you are working for what? Now the answers are all different. Is it not more or less different, we can say? If the children had replied, they have not replied, but studying for what, having good result, what, so that we can get into a better college, for what? I mean, if I am wrong, you can tell, get a good job, or if he's good in sports, I would like to get famous in sports, doing something like that. All the answers will be different. But the next question will be, so what? By that, what is going to happen? That I want freedom, or my own, that I am alone there, I am doing this, doing that, etc., or I will get good result, or I will get a good job, or I will get more money. By that, what will happen? As Chris said, that look after my family for the money. What will happen by that? The family will be happy. But what to you when the family becomes happy? Well, when my family becomes happy, I will become happy. This is the last answer I wanted to have. When there is freedom in my personal life or so, I will become happy. Is it not so? When I get the proper job, I will become happy. When I get married to my favored partner or beloved partner, I will become happy. Is it not so everywhere? If you can bring happiness to the world, let us say, sacrificing the people who are dying for the country, sacrificing for their life, you ask them, if it is not just, let us not talk about the military, but those who have given their life in the freedom struggle. They knew that I may not live after the country becomes independent. But why did they give their life? Because they wanted to serve the country. By that, what will happen? They felt that their mind will become happy by serving the country. By doing the sacrifice of life also, their mind will become happy. Is it not so? The point is that we are always looking for happiness. That is the point we want to point out. Do you agree to that or not? So anybody can think about his own life. Suppose when I was just born, I was running after maybe 2 years old or so. We were happy to get some food, maybe milk or food or so. We were engaging into that activity so that our thought was by eating I will become happy. A little older, you thought that by playing I will become happy. So much so that when the parents were asking to study, we refused to study because we get joy out of playing. Then what I point out here is that as a same person is growing, the happiness point goes on shifting from fruit to play to good result to good rank in the exam, friends, then further to job or looking for a partner, then after you have got married, have some good children, then the children's happiness becomes your happiness. That is, the children should be well settled, they should be having good result. Then the children have all become grown up and they have thrown you out of house and they are living their own life. Then the grandchildren, and if the grandchildren do not come to you because the children are not happy with you, then you start suffering because of the happiness you are wanting from the grandchildren you are not getting anymore. Is it not so? So what I want to point out here is that every time we are thinking that by this I will become happy, and thereafter we don't think. It gets shifted. When we don't get it, we suffer. And another thing I again want, maybe a building, a very good house. Then when you get into the house, then you find that so far I was staying in a rented house. Everything I used to call the owner and he used to repair. Now every day I am running for the repair. So where is that happiness gone? So, but the day you entered the house, new house, with so much of fanfare, calling friends and all, you were so happy. Today I have a palatial house made and all that. But when you start staying there, I think within 1 year you are troubled with whatever. So the focus should be, our thinking should be that none of this have made me permanently happy. Is it not so? We are looking for happiness, but nothing has made me permanently happy. About marriage also, I am not saying that you should not get married. Where we make mistake is we think that by marrying this partner I will become happy. Understand that by marrying also I will not become happy and then marry. Happiness doesn't lie there. Maybe few days I will become happy, thereafter all the struggles will be there, the quarrels will be there, everything will be there. I have to be happy with that also. But we get deluded because we have an image of what is going to be my happiness, and it never comes. Like that we go on deluded. So, is it agreeable what I am saying? You are not getting offended, no? So, Bhagavad Gita points out that this is the basic problem of human life. And can you show the slide number? 8th slide. So, saying that fundamental problem of life, what is that? We are born with an insufficiency. In our Sanskrit it is called abhava bodha, the lack of fulfillment. That is why we crave for happiness. Suppose we were happy, then will we crave for happiness? That we always looking for happiness, maybe we are not thinking that I am looking for happiness, but just now as we said that whatever we are trying to do, all actions are motivated by the desire for happiness. This fundamental statement you have to first clarify, you have to understand well. That whatever we are doing, they are all different for different people. But it is guided by, all our actions are motivated by the desire for happiness. You can say desire for car, desire for a good job, desire for a building, desire for a partner, desire for fame, anything you can say. But ultimately it boils down to desire for happiness, because we are not fulfilled. If you have been fulfilled, then you will not do anything for expecting that I will become happy by doing it. You will do whatever to be done, whatever comes, and you will do it from a cheerful set of mind, not thinking that by doing it I will become happy. You will do it out of joy, not for joy. Am I clear in this? So, this lack of fulfillment or abhava bodha means insufficiency is right from beginning in our mind, and that makes us run after happiness and avoid The opposite of it is avoid whatever we think that will cause lack of happiness or which unpleasant situation. We avoid unpleasant situations. Both are same. This is what we do. Along with that, there is a moha. Moha means a delusion. We are born with the delusion. The Bhagavad Gita clearly answers where from the delusion has come. We will not go into so much of detail, just simply we will say. What is the delusion? That we think something from the world will make me happy. That what from the world will make me happy will change. It is sometimes food, sometimes matrimony, sometimes money, sometimes fame, sometimes power, sometimes political, sometimes reputation, so many things. But the fact is that we think that something if I gain from the world, I will become happy. Here comes Bhagavad Gita's main discovery. That our rishis, the rishis always we refer to as the scientists of our ancient India. Even now rishis are there, they are also scientists because this is a discovery about our own life, about our own real identity. So any other rishi who has discovered it 10,000 or 20,000 years ago or even 1,000 years ago, that will only give us the information about the discovery. Discovery of what? About our own real identity, about our own self, about our mind, about our intelligence, about our life. So it has to be a personal first-hand discovery. First-hand discovery, you understand? That is, it is not a second-hand knowledge from the book or from anybody else. I may tell you, but it will be a second-hand knowledge for you. For you to gain, it has to be a first-hand discovery. That you have to know what is making me happy, what is not making me happy. You have to know your suffering. That suppose by sacrificing something you are attached to, when you sacrifice for others, you will get a great joy. Now you have to feel that joy, and that is how you come to know. My ice cream story again I have to tell. I have been telling for a long time. A boy used to go to the park with the father every day, and every day he was getting one ice cream. Ice cream and a cup of ice cream. Now it's not a story, it's a real thing. In Calcutta, in a park, it has happened. So there will be some urchin boys who will take the swine after you have taken and you have thrown away your cup. They will tear it off and lick from that because they are not getting the ice cream like you, they are very poor. Seeing that also we never feel about them. We take our ice cream which I have got from the father and then throw the cup and we see the other boy licking it, but we don't feel about the boy. That is our constriction, that we are not aware of the world. Now this boy was also doing like this. One day the father thought, it's a good father, not like ordinary father. He thought that, he suggested to the son that every day you are taking an ice cream. Today also I have given. But before you eat, can you not give it to that boy who is not getting, all these days he is licking only your thrown away cup? Can you not give it to him? The boy thinks that father is saying, let me see, let me do something. So he gives it to that boy. And when that boy is taking a full cup of ice cream from that he has started taking, there is something new dawning in this boy who has been every day was happy with the taste of the ice cream. Today there is no ice cream, but some other deeper joy is flowing in him. Joy of feeling for others, joy of sacrifice. By that you expand. So far you were constricted. You are thinking only of your taste and you love to take the ice cream. You are constricted, self-centered, selfish. So you are not getting that joy. The moment you won over your selfishness, won over your constriction, that means an expansion of the mind. These are the thoughts of Bhagavad Gita through which we will learn, and it will help us throughout our life. That where lies the expansion of the mind? The moment we embrace others in our fold, we sacrifice for them, we think about them, we feel concerned about them, you will find a great joy dawning in us. Everybody would have felt that when we do a teamwork, quite a few people together, and we are forgetting about our ego differences and difference of opinions and all that. If you can do a teamwork well, you'll find there is great joy, which you will never get from working alone. What do you say? Do you have the experience of it? In GBGC, we have seen in our Bhagavad Gita, global Bhagavad Gita convention.
I was just going to say, I think that through the Global Gita Convention, we've gotten to work together, and it's been wonderful to learn from each other, but also recognize more about my own self through the process.
What is the science behind that? Is that our mind is expanding through that. Wherever there is an expansion of the mind, we get a new joy. Let me finish the story, otherwise I will forget. I will go on and the tale is lost by that time. I always say that I have a problem with my search engine in my brain. So, the boy gave the ice cream to that other boy, and when he was taking the ice cream, he felt, both the father and the son, both felt very happy seeing the joy, a new kind of a joy seeing the boy. But what happened strangely in this case, actually it is not a story. This poor boy who is never getting an ice cream, every day licking from the cup, he took only half of the cup. He did not take the full cup like the other boy. And then he looked up to the tree. A monkey, small monkey came down from the tree, and he gave the half of the cup, the half cup ice cream to that monkey. And the monkey started eating the... So seeing that, everybody was in great joy. The poor boy, the other rich boy, the father, everybody was in great joy. Where from it is happening? Where from the joy is coming? They have to think. The father, I don't know that part of it. The father should have asked the son that, do you know where from the joy is coming? What is the difference between this joy and the joy of the taste of the ice cream? Will you like to say, come up with that? It is again your point that what is the difference between the two joys? The one is eating the ice cream, another is sacrificing the ice cream for another poor boy. Both are joy, but what is the difference? It is generated in the mind, and the beauty of that is whenever, even listening to this story also, you got some joy. Is it not so? So it is, any time you think of it, that boy who had sacrificed, the thinking of the sacrifice, he will get joy. It is never ending. Actually, it is eternal joy. It's born of the mind only. All joys are born on the mind, but it is absolutely dependent on the mind. So, but the other joy, if you think of the taste of the ice cream, will you get joy, or you will miss, and suffering will be that today I am not getting the ice cream? In the case when you experience the comfort or the joy, the moment the comfort or the joy is not there, you start suffering. That happens not only in ice cream, I am saying it is everywhere. Suppose you are given to a comfort of living in a place. The moment you have to go for a trek to Himalayas and all, you have to stay in a camp. You may take it with a sportsman-like spirit. But the fact is that you will not be happy if the comfort is not there. You will look for a hotel where I will get the same kind of a mattress and all. On the Himalayas also you will look for that. So any sensory joy is when you are in contact with that, you are getting some kind of a fulfillment or joy. Very short-lived. But thinking of that, it doesn't give you. But in this case, whenever you think, it will fill your mind. Because whenever you are thinking of this episode, what is happening? Your mind is expanding. It is not only at that point your mind expanded, but whenever you are thinking of it, that what are you thinking? It is the sacrifice, it is the concern about others, it is the love for others that is giving you joy. So mind is expanding through the thought also. You don't have to give the ice cream. Am I clear? Just the thought of that will expand your mind. Suppose another example we take, that you have gone to a beautiful place. Say, let us say beach or the top of a mountain. Seeing the scenery, you feel very happy. Is it not? Forgotten everything, you are so happy seeing it, particularly ocean, vast ocean, You are not able to see the limit at all. You are so happy. Suddenly you get the news that you have lost your job or you have lost your somebody very close to you. What happens? Collapsed. So if the joy is in the sea or in the scenery or in the mountain or in the sky, that joy should be still there. The sea is still in front. So what happened to the mind by getting the news? Why did the mind collapse? Because immediately the mind became selfish, self-centered. Let us not say selfish, self-centered. And the vastness which the sea was incorporating in your mind, seeing the sea, your mind became like the sea. It is the expansion of the mind that was giving you the joy. The moment the news came, you are no longer lost in the sea, the vastness of the sea, the thought of what will happen to me, what will happen to my family. I have to immediately go back. All the personal things, so the mind became small and you lost the joy. So by all these examples, you will see that whenever the mind is constricted, whenever the mind becomes selfish, small, we become weak, we lose our joy. Another example I would give. Suppose those who have done some practice, those who have not done, at least hear from us that when we start meditating, why do you meditate? Many people do it without knowing anything. But those who are doing under some guidance and all, it is to become zero, is it not? Go to a place where it is mindless, all the thoughts are not disturbing. Generally we find the thoughts are always disturbing. Now the day you reach that 0 point, that means the whole world is forgotten. Meditation, samadhi is the height of meditation. In that point what happens? You forget the whole world. When I say that you forget the whole world, that world consists of your personality also. Your body-mind personality is a product of nature. Any doubt about it? Just like all other things, my body is also a product of nature. So when I am forgetting the whole world, I am forgetting my egoistic small personality also, is it not? The whole world is forgotten. And then they discovered that we've become blissful. Those who have experienced, they will say, Anandadhyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandam pravishanti avisamvashanti. These are all Upanishadic statements that such great joy, ananda, it is not even called sukha, it is called ananda. They experience the greatest ever blissfulness in life there. Now, my point is, in that case, where from did they get the joy? This blissfulness is coming from where? What is the state at that time? He has forgotten the world, is it not? Including my own small personality. Are you able to understand, children? Samajh mein aa raha na? You are thinking that forced by the parents today, we have been put in the front, and Swamiji all along never asked anything in front of so many people, he is torturing us. So the greatest joy you are getting when you have forgotten the world. That means where from the joy is coming? Is it not that joy is a self welling forth from within somewhere we don't know, not from the personality wing. The joy is inside. And again, knowing that also people again run after external joy. That is our foolishness. But once we have found that in forgetting the world lies joy. Say, those who have got this meditational experience, I have many people in instance. They still run after the worldly joy about many things. That means they have never deliberated upon what has happened to him in that state. Because of the teacher or somebody, they have helped to get that experience. They have got the experience. They have got the bliss also. But they still run after worldly things. That means they have not thought about it, that the world cannot give you that joy. Even the sea example, ocean example, or the mountain, it shows that the joy is not coming from the world. Joy is within. When the whole world is forgotten, then you are filled with the joy. So this is the point of, the pivotal point of Upanishads as well as Bhagavad Gita, on which the whole, this science is based. That the joy is within. Now the next conclusion they are coming from here, it's extremely scientific. It is more scientific than our so-called science, objective science. Because it includes both the object universe, that is objectude, and the subject who is experiencing the whole world. So, why are we not getting that joy was the problem. That other times when the world is forgotten, we are getting the joy. But other times when the world is not forgotten, why are we not getting the joy? So they came to a discovery about what happens during our small joys. That is, suppose I am wanting to have a very good house. So that becomes the desire for us. I am not saying that we should not house, and all those points should not come in. We will have everything. But where lies the delusion, I would only like to point out. So I am looking for a joy, so that is a desire. And as long as that desire is not fulfilled, it is a disturbance to the mind. It agitates the mind. I want this, I want this, I want this. The stronger the desire, the stronger will be the disturbance. Is it not so? Well, little thing, suppose one food you want, there is a little disturbance about that. But it will not upset you so much. But if the desire is very strong, then the mind will be all the more upset about it. Now, the moment you get that object of desire, what is happening to the mind? We say the fulfillment of the desire has given you the joy, but Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads do not say that. Says that when the desireful object is obtained, gained, then the desire gets eliminated. The desire is no more there. It has become absolutely zero for a little while, till another desire again comes back to it. This point you should think very well. This is the source of all our delusion. The moment that fulfillment comes, for a while you will have some joy, some fulfillment, some peace, joy, everything. Till another object of desire or anxiety or fear comes in. Fear can be the same thing. Suppose you are asking for some gold or something from great money or so. The moment you have a peace, fulfillment, but immediately the fear will come, now if I lose it. It's happened about the partner also. Everywhere it happens that immediately you are fulfilled. The next, within 1 year you start doubting whether my wife is having affair with another person or my husband is having affair with another person. That means that whole joy of meeting has gone. The whole joy of union is no more there. It has become a suffering that you have started doubting. It may be true, may not be true, whatever it is. So anything from the world again comes in and creates a desire in the mind or a fear in the mind, a fear of losing what we want or fear of facing what we do not want. Both are the fears. Fear of losing what we want and fear of facing what we do not want. Both are fear. So those thoughts come and again disturbs us. Then again we look for that new desire or something. Again it is sometimes fulfilled. Then I will get a short joy till another thing comes and disturbs our mind. So our mind is constantly moving from one agitation to the other agitation because we are moving from one desire to the other desire. And every time we get the joy is when that desire is eliminated. So they focused completely, their focus was on this discovery. Then why do we call that the fulfillment of desire is giving us joy? Is it not the elimination of the desire which is giving us joy? Think well. The whole life will undergo change by constantly introspecting on this truth. This is again, think of the meditation. That Why did we get the joy in meditation? There was no fulfillment of any kind, but the whole world got wiped off. So the elimination of all the desires took place. So it was the highest possible blissfulness we got at that point. Similarly, in sleep also, you don't have to think of meditation if you don't have the experience of meditation. In sleep, what happens? We forget in deep sleep, when there is no dream also, we forget the whole world, is it not? Including our own personality. Whenever we are forgetting the world, it is not that I am there and I have forgotten the world. World is not that I am standing there. I am part of the world. When I am forgetting the world, that egoistic, the small personality, which I call I, is not there. That I is not there. It is something else is there. So, when everything has gone, then we got the joy. So does it not confirm that the elimination of the desire is what is giving us the joy? It is not the fulfillment of the joy. So that will change our whole philosophy of life. That the whole life we think that we are working motivated by desire to get happiness. That you have already agreed earlier. That we act to become happy out of some gain or something. So we understand that the happiness does not depend on that. Does it mean that once we discover this, we will stop working, we will stop doing anything? No. You have certain capability, you have something, some worth. According to that, whatever the world needs, whatever comes for you to do, you will go on doing. But there will be a great difference in that doing. You will do it with so much of joy. This is where the excellence is coming in. You will do everything with excellence. Because it is you are doing with a fulfilled mind, with the great joy, not expecting anything from what you are doing. Suppose we have made such a program only for the youth, and yesterday we found our youth is only 2 MCs who have come from, one from California, one from New York. We have brought them specially for this program, but not a single youth was there. So should I have become yesterday depressed and said that no, then why should I take this class? Even the elder people did not come thinking that it is the program for the youth. And so nobody is there, let us wind up and go. I could have thought like that. But did you find anything lack in my speech yesterday? I always say that our Swamiji had been propagating this knowledge for last 65 years. Around that. So seeing his disciples and devotees, nobody has taken up sannyasa like Swamiji, or never. But they still continue, many of them, at least 60% of them will have the same questions remaining after listening for 60 years. So in any desireful work, will a person be able to do? It is only because whatever he is doing, it is out of joy, out of whatever he can do for the world he is doing. If he had been doing that, I will do like this, so this will happen, I will have 1,000 disciples who will be sannyasis, who will have 100 ashrams all over the world, and there we will do all that, then he would not have been able to do. But how relentlessly he is writing books, speaking to people, working for them. Although people are talking, they are not getting, all are not getting relieved from their grief or so. But he is again trying to make them free of the grief and all. Without any doubt, without any expectation, he is going on doing. This is the greatness of a desireless work. So it is a wrong idea that everybody asks that without desire, how can there be motivation for work? Actually, with desire, there is a lot of wrong motivation. Without desire, only people can work. The whole world is working without desire. The plants are growing, the flowers are blossoming, the moon is going around the earth is going around the sun. What desire? For millions of years it is all going on. If it had been out of desire, the next day someday earth would think that I am going around. Nothing is happening anywhere. Today, let me take at least half a second rest. Can you imagine the consequence of that? If the earth doesn't move for half a second, what will happen? Nobody would be there. It will simply fall on the sun and get completely pulverized. Is it not? So the whole nature is working without motivation, without desire as the motivation. So why should we also are part of nature, and we are free to work like that. And we work according to the nature, whatever capability we have, whatever qualities we have, whatever is the need of the society, according to that we will go on working. No desire is necessary as a motivation. So desire is actually hindering the blissfulness, hindering the happiness. We think that the desire is making us happy by fulfillment of the desire. It is not so. Desire is hindering the happiness, and when you eliminate the desire, you become happy, you become fulfilled. So this is the great discovery of Bhagavad Gita, that this comes from where? From the smallness of our identity, which makes us look for happiness. We think that the happiness is in the world. So we go on acting, thinking that I will become happy. But we don't look around the world that the richest person in the world, is he happy? The most famous person in the world, is he happy or was he happy ever? Or the most powerful politicians at those days, kings, have they become happy by that power? It's never so. Everywhere the details, the informations will tell us that it's not so. Still we think that we will become happy by whatever we want to gain. To take the decision, suppose you are on a crossroad. How to take the decision? Shall I take the path A or path B? The method is to immediately look within, not outside. A may give you more money, more power, more fame. B, money, fame, power, everything can be less. But your experiment will be looking into our mind, in my mind, and find out by taking A or B, what is happening there. Is there a weakness coming in? Within, deep within. If there is smallness coming in, if there is a lightness or heaviness felt there, if there is an expansion, strength, lightness, then that is the way. That will take us finally to the ultimate goal. If there is a contraction, smallness, heaviness in the mind, that is not the way. That may give you externally many things, but still you will lose your path from there. In Upanishads it is called Shreyas and Preyas. That Shreyas means which is ultimately beneficial, which will make me permanently happy. And Preyas is which is very pleasant, give you lot of material, but which will take you from the path of Shreyas. So always, every moment of life we have, even in, if not the external life, in your mind you will find there is always the tussle going on, Shreyas and Preyas. And for a real seeker of happiness or joy or ultimate reality, it is he has to make the selection for whatever gives us the expansion, the lightness, strength within. Outside strength might be less, but we will feel stronger within. That is how they could sacrifice their life for the country, the inside feeling of the strength. One space scientist was telling, we were discussing about the conflict in the world and all. So he came up with a suggestion that everybody should be sent to the space. Why? Because when we are in our town, we fight with each other on the basis of, oh, I am a Punjabi, he is a Sindhi, or I am a Bengali, all these things come. When you go out in America or so, I don't know whether you have the differences, but those days it was not there. I am from India. So your identity has grown from your family identity to a country identity. Similarly, when you are thrown out in the space, when you look at the earth from the space, even I belong to this earth, the blue earth, I belong to this place. So to make everybody heart widened, mind free of this parochialism and all, send them to the space for some time. Let them experience the expansion that I belong to earth at least. I think we have very well clarified that it is the desire, as we have understood, that is the main culprit. So Bhagavad Gita very clearly points out, where Arjuna had asked then, why is people misbehaving and all? He came that kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samudbhava. Those slokas are coming, that kama is the main thing. Kama means desire here. So saying that, Bhagavad Gita, if we accept that, then the desires have to be eliminated. That was our discussion before the break. The desires have to be eliminated. Now, Bhagavad Gita is so scientific that it doesn't leave you there. He said that if the desires have to be eliminated, we must know where they are sitting. Unless we are able to pinpoint them, how are we going to treat them? So he comes out with the ninth sloka, ninth slide. Indriyani manobuddhi asyadhisthana muchyate etai vimohayatyesha jnanam avritya dehinam. It is the 3rd chapter, 40th verse. This is very important. So I did, given the nature of this program, I had thought of not going into any shloka, but because only 2 children are there, others are there, I thought that we will say it. Now he says that the Indriyani mano buddhi asya adhisthana muchyate. That means this adhisthana means where the desire is seated. It is seated in the sense organs, in the mind, in the buddhi. And sitting there, what is the desire doing? Etaihi vimohayati esha jnanam avritta dehinam. They are deluding the indriyas, they are deluding the mind, they are deluding the intelligence. And by that, what they are doing? They are by the covering the knowledge or the real truth, they are deluding them. So once the real truth is known, all this will go. But as long as the real truth is not known, how to approach? Then will we wait for the last stage when I will know the truth and then we will try to get rid of the kamas? No. You can start your sadhana right away by knowing that how to go about it. Now show the 10th one. He says that to do it, first of all, you have to know under who is the superior and who is the inferior. So he says, Indriyani paranyahu indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhi yo buddhe paratastu saha. Extremely important. He says the indriyas are very powerful, it is known, because we are always pulled by the indriya. That was the question of Arjuna also. They are extremely powerful. But you know that indriyebhya param manaha, the mind has greater power than the indriyas. Why? As long as you are not employing the mind, the senses will not do anything. Suppose you are sleeping, your eyes are, if you show something, the eyes on the retina, the flower you are showing, that flower will come on the retina. The indriyas are working. But because the mind is not active, you are not knowing what has been shown. Like that, to function anything, we have to employ the indriyas by the mind. Now, how will you employ the mind? Because mind is also deluded. What is our normal state? That the indriyas are always attracted and repelled by the world objects, depending on your preference and prejudice. So actually the world is not creating any trouble. It is the attraction and repulsion of the sense organs which is taking us, distracting us and all. So to make the world harmless, to work in the world without getting affected, what we have to treat is not the world. You cannot make the world absolutely favorable for you. Never try it also. What we can do is to treat our senses, get rid of the attraction, repulsion. But you cannot do it because senses are employed by the mind which is already under delusion, and it is also suffering from attraction and repulsion. So generally what we do is that senses are servile, are slave to the objects. following the senses, the mind is also slave to the objects, it becomes. Is it not? It's not difficult to understand. Suppose you like a taste of something which is absolutely poisonous for the health. But because of the taste, your mind says, no, ek baar to kha lo. At least once you eat it, tomorrow I will not take. Tomorrow again you will take. But whatever it is, you are flouting your knowledge, which the intelligence is saying that don't go for it, you will suffer from stomach ache. But the mind is finally supporting the senses, and you are eating or overeating, or not only eating, everywhere it is applicable. So you are doing the wrong things, because the mind is also deluded. So next step, what is that? Manasastu parabuddhi. Mind you have to discipline by applying your buddhi. Because the intelligence must be through, that is what we are saying, introspection. Intelligence must act on the mind to behave properly, discipline the mind. But what it is saying is that, but the buddhi is also deluded by the ignorance, by the effect of ajnana. Buddhi is also deluded. How such a buddhi can act on the mind? You get my point? The whole process now is the senses are slave to the world. Following the senses, the mind is slave to the world. Following the mind, the intelligence is also slave to the world. A thief, his intelligence is saying this way it will not have. You should have better instrument. You can cut open the door in a different manner. It is intelligence's way of making him thief. So the whole, this sequence have to be inverted. That is, the senses have to be controlled by guided by the mind. But mind is not able to do because it is deluded. The mind has to be guided by the buddhi. The buddhi is not able to do because buddhi is also deluded. So where to look for? There comes the anchor. He says, yo buddhehe paratastu saha. There is something even transcending the buddhi. What is that? That is the revealer I, the consciousness. That is what our real identity. So that is not affected by anything. The effect of this raga, dvesha, attraction, repulsion, the effect of ignorance, it goes up to the buddhi level. That buddhi you have to anchor to your real identity. That is, look further, transcending the buddhi. Yo buddhehe parataha tu saha. That is the ultimate. You get your buddhi anchored there. That comes in the next shloka, just below this, same slide. Evam buddhehe param buddhva. Buddhehe param means which transcends the buddhi. First come to know of that which transcends the buddhi. That is why in meditation, the buddhi is also becoming effortless. We are transcending the buddhi to know who am I. The buddhi cannot identify because buddhi will objectify it. So, evam buddhe param buddhva. Know that which transcends the buddhi. Samstabhya atmanam atmana. Jahishatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. Knowing that, you get anchored in that truth. Once is that, you have to know what is that transcending the buddhi. That is the I, the consciousness, the ultimate truth, whatever you may say. Now, after you have known, you get anchored in that. By that, you will be able to overcome the kama. Now, it is not only a meditational process. What I started saying is that in the interactive state also, you have to constantly anchor your buddhi there. It can be done only by the buddhi. Because when the buddhi is anchored, it will get the touch of purity of the soul or the inner identity. And by that, the buddhi will be purified. The buddhi will purify the mind will purify the senses, and it will be an integrated machine. You show the chariot. So this chariot, it is an illustration from Kathopanishad. Quite a few shlokas, about 4 or 5 shlokas, clearly explain this. It's a very good suggestive way, and it will remain in your mind. That is why I have drawn the picture, so that you don't forget it. It is an integrated personality, and also how we win over slavery and become master of ourselves. The whole pursuit of spirituality is to become master of the world, not by winning over the world, but by winning over our own mind, intelligence and everything. Master we become. So here it shows that the 5 horses, in a chariot never there will be odd number of horses, there will be 4 or 6 or 8. But because we have 5 senses, here it is 5 horses. Now, those are the senses. So left to itself, the horses will go by their attraction for the. Suppose you are coming to a frying pan and on a chariot, and on the way they find so much of corn field and all. What will the horses do? They get out from the road and go and eat the. So to discipline them, you put 2 covers on 2 sides and train them up with the rein. That no, you cannot go there, you go there. Like that, the senses have to be disciplined and also controlled by the mind. Then, who will control the reins? The reins are the mind. They are controlling the horses. And who will control the reins? The charioteer, who is sitting holding the reins, he has to control. So the charioteer is the intelligence here. The intelligence will control the horses to the reins. You forget about the small child sitting in front. I will explain it later. Then, what will the intelligence do? Where will it drive the chariot to? If your driver is sitting in the car, will he not ask you before driving that where would you like to go? And you put that on the Google, and then now another driver has come, the Google driver. Without that, let us see what the driver will do. He will ask the master that where do you want to go? According to that, he will drive. So the intelligence to be a proper disciplined intelligence, he will always ask the inner personality where he would drive the chariot of life. That is the anchorage in the soul. That he has to go in and say, where lies my shreyas? And where lies my prayers? Am I to take the prayers or am I to take the shreyas? If he is well anchored in the soul, he will always choose the path of shreyas. Thumb rule I have already said. Look within, find where lies expansion, strength and lightness of the mind. So he will guide accordingly. So the whole sequence becomes different. The intelligence looks at the inmost level and takes the guidance. It pulls the reins according to that, and the horses will take the chariot to its goal. Now, why this small child I have incorporated? It has a story. The whole story I cannot say, there is no time. But the fact is that the reins, comparing the reins with the mind, which the Upanishad has done, I felt that the mind has got its own living connection. So the comparing with the rein, it doesn't work out well, the example. So I have added one mind there, a small child. The reins I have not called minds, although the Upanishad calls it. I have modified the Upanishadic statement a little. The mind is this small child sitting just in front of the charioteer, who is holding the reins. And this child will listen to the charioteer which way I have to pull. Now this is the integrated personality which will take us to our goal. Now the story is that once we were coming back from our Gurudev's village, Baba, and they used to send us in a bail gadi, that is a bullock cart. So once when we were coming back, the bullock cart man driving the bullock cart was very old, quite old. So he wanted to train his grandson. The grandson was much younger than him, still smaller, like her. And the grandson also wanted that, no, today you come with the cart walking and I will drive that. That's the tendency of the mind, what can be done? So he sat there. The horses were also not very disciplined. It will not go. The boy is pulling the rein, it won't go. Then the grandfather suddenly showed an umbrella. If you suddenly open the umbrella, the bullock will start running. It ran and then suddenly took a turn and went in. I found that they have come back to their shed. They all moved from there. Then again the umbrella was shown and again they started running. So the whole experience was, every moment we were facing some fatal accident, running here, there, and those were election periods. So on the other side, from the other side, the jeeps were coming. Quite a few jeeps were coming. The moment the bullock, they see a jeep, it goes down to the field, which is much below. Like that, it goes down to the field. So finally, it so happened that our main charioteer, the cartman, was sitting there, and in front of him, his grandson was sitting, and both of them were taking us to death. So finally, at one point, the jeep came, and it ran down and started running in the field, till it went into the pond and half drowned position, just screeched, stopped there. By that time, the villagers have come running around and they said that, are you going to kill these people? Leave them, they can walk. I have been telling right from the beginning, we don't need the bullock cart because it's not properly managed, we can walk. But it is their prestige issue, they are not allowing. So finally, forced by the people, they left us and we walked to the station. Now, this is what happens in our life also. I am not just telling the story, that our mind and intelligence, both when they are egoistic, they are driven by the various, our desires and prestige and whatnot, they do havoc. They don't drive the chariot where the owner wants, the soul wants. So, I think we can finish with this today. Namo namaste gurave mahatmani vimukta sangaya saduttamaya nityadvayananda rasaswarupini bhumne sada paradayam budhamne. Namaste, namaste, vibho vishvamurte. Namaste, namaste, chidanandamurte. Namaste, namaste, tapoyogagamya. Namaste, namaste, shrutijnanagamya. Namaste, namaste, tapoyogagamya. Namaste, namaste, shrutijnanagamya. Hari Om Tat Sat.